Hello, this is Richard, again with Janus Motorcycles, and today we're going to talk about our Halcyon solo seat. The Halcyon model, as you may know, is a hardtail motorcycle, so that means that it doesn't have a traditional or a conventional swing arm rear suspension that would isolate road vibration and shocks from the frame. The whole frame is actually hard mounted, sort of like a traditional bicycle that you may be used to. Most motorcycles used were a hardtail design up until as late as the 50s. There were certainly rear suspension designs prior to that, but they were more of the exception than the rule. The Halcyon, we chose to go with a traditional design using a hardtail for a number of reasons. One, because it was just such a traditional design, and also because the bike is so lightweight, it doesn't necessarily have the same requirements of a rear suspension that modern, heavier, more powerful motorcycles have. One of the most common things that we hear from people when they come to the shop for a discovery day or to test ride a bike is, wow, I had no idea how much more comfortable the Halcyon is than I expected. Personally, I have ridden, done several long distance rides, and I would always choose the Halcyon for any time when I'm spending more time in the saddle, whether that's crossing the country or doing 1,000 miles in 24 hours. I really do feel like these are our most comfortable models. All that said, it's not like you're sitting without any suspension at all. The suspension is accomplished by springs under the seat. So while the frame is not isolated from the rear road shocks, you are. So these coil springs here operate like this. So your weight is suspended on a pivot here, sort of like a little mini swing arm just for you on the bike. This is a very, very traditional design that has been used on, really from the very beginning of motorcycles for over 100 years. Bicycles use this design to this day, and it actually works really well. And if you're skeptical, definitely give it a shot before you write it off. It certainly is not comfortable if maybe you're familiar with riding a hardtail Harley Davidson. That's a completely different experience than riding a lightweight 265-pound Janus. The seat, apart from that, the seat is actually a metal frame. So we'll walk over here. This is our standard Halcyon solo seat fan, we call it. It's already mounted. This is a pre-assembly. It's already mounted to the springs and the mounting bracket. And resting on this is a layer of foam, and then the leather seat cover, which is this piece right here. So this is the seat cover when it hasn't been installed yet. So it's pretty flat looking. It immediately starts gaining shape once it's installed on the bike and once you sit on it. It'll really conform and gain the distinctive look the Halcyon has. So that's what you're seeing over here on the bike. This is one that's still pretty, brand new. It still hasn't really taken the full shape yet, and we'll take a look at one that actually is been sitting on a bike for over a year, and you can see the difference. This is full grain leather. The craftsman who makes this is a Amish harness maker, so he's used to working with leather on a daily basis, and we've worked with him for quite some time on these. They've gone through many revisions, and we're constantly working on these to make them more comfortable. We originally used a hairpin spring system, and the current spring is a coil spring that just provides a smoother ride. One other new design that we've been working on is we call this the wide line seat. This is just a bigger, more padded seat that integrates better with the fuel tank. So this is wider. It really matches the width of the back of the fuel tank, and it has a more curved profile. So this is both longer this way and wider. And we call that, again, the wide line seat. We'll take a look at what that looks like on a bike. It uses the same springing system, same mounting brackets as the regular seat, but it's just wider and longer, and then it also includes two pads, so it actually has more of a kind of an ergonomic feel, and I think it's definitely more comfortable. The last long distance ride we did, 1,000-mile ride, I used that, and I really felt like it was an improvement on the stock seat. Thanks very much for watching this Parts Talk episode, and as always, stay tuned for more coming up.